Europe and Africa were last connected by a landmass over 5.3 million years ago during a period known as the Messinian salinity crisis. This was a time when the Mediterranean Sea's level drastically fell, creating a land bridge between the two continents at the location of today's Strait of Gibraltar. About 5.33 million years ago, this connection was severed by a massive flooding event, separating Europe and Africa and shaping the Mediterranean Sea as we know it. But this historical separation might soon change. The reason? The World Football Championship in 2030, set to be held in Spain, Portugal and Morocco. This global tournament, expected to draw millions of fans from around the world, has reignited interest in an ambitious project that dates back over 90 years: the construction of a railway tunnel beneath the Strait of Gibraltar. The Strait of Gibraltar, that lies in the territorial waters of Morocco, Spain and the British Overseas Territory of Gibraltar, is the narrowest point between the European and African continents, with the shortest distance being just 14 kilometers. This makes it the most logical location for a fixed transport link connecting these continents. The concept of such a connection goes back to the 1930s, when Spain first proposed the idea of the tunnel and commissioned engineers to explore its feasibility. However, they encountered a significant challenge. The rock beneath the strait was found to be extremely hard, rendering tunneling impractical with the technology available at the time. Speaking of challenges in our professional and personal lives, managing numerous passwords can feel like navigating a complex railway network, each leading to different yet crucial destinations, our digital accounts. Just as engineers approach designing railway lines with precision and the right tools, we too need a robust tool for password management. That's where NordPass steps into the spotlight. NordPass is not just any password manager. It is an encrypted vault like the bedrock of a tunnel, providing a foundation to safeguard our digital access points. With NordPass, gone are the days of forgotten passwords or using the same key for multiple locks, a practice as risky as using a single-track railway line for two trains running in opposite directions without proper signaling and telecommunication system. Instead, NordPass generates strong, unique passwords for each account, just as every railway line is uniquely engineered to fit the purpose of transportation demand. And for businesses looking to streamline their password management, NordPass offers an easy-to-adopt solution that integrates seamlessly into daily operations. By visiting our unique URL in the description and using the activation code Railways Explained, you'll receive a 3-month free trial tailored for businesses. This is your chance to reinforce your digital infrastructure, so make the switch to NordPass and experience the peace of mind that comes with having a fortified digital presence. The political roots of the ambitious project to connect Europe and Africa through the Strait of Gibraltar trace back to the common Hispanic-Moroccan Declaration of 1979, a significant agreement signed by the kings of Spain and Morocco. Following this declaration, a complementary agreement was signed in 1980, leading to the formation of a joint Spanish-Moroccan committee. This committee, along with the Spanish Society for Fixed Communication across the Strait of Gibraltar and the Moroccan counterpart, was established to oversee the project. The envisioned connection between the two continents promised to revolutionize communications, trade and cooperation to levels never seen before. In the early 2000s, various studies and designs considered both a tunnel and a bridge as options to link the continents. Given the heavy maritime traffic in the area, a tunnel was often viewed as more feasible. Despite this, the project faced numerous questions regarding its viability and eventually lost momentum in 2009 with the last joint committee meeting held that year. However, the project saw a resurgence in February 2023, following an improvement in diplomatic relations between Spain and Morocco, leading to a renewed commitment to the tunnel. Just 2 months later, in April 2023, the 43rd meeting of the Spanish-Moroccan Joint Committee, originally established in 1980, convened to discuss the fixed-link project across the strait. The Spanish Society for Fixed Communication across the Strait of Gibraltar recently reported that new studies suggest the feasibility of a tunnel connection between Morocco and Spain, enabling a direct train route from Casablanca to Madrid. The projected timeline for completing this monumental project is around 5 years. This timeline implies that construction would need to commence within the next 1.5 years to ensure completion before the World Cup kick-off. The ongoing nature of this research has been highlighted, conducted periodically in collaboration with another Spanish firm specializing in similar projects. Now, the shortest path across the strait, as mentioned, is 14 kilometers, but due to a deep section in the middle, reaching approximately 900 meters, more feasible tunnel routes extend to around 40 kilometers. The geographical positioning of the tunnel was carefully selected based on optimal distance and depth for a submarine tunnel. The tunnel also must be sufficiently long to enable a gradual descent to the required depth before passing under the straits. The proposed tunnel design includes a 42-kilometer rail link with 27.7 kilometers of underwater tunnel and 11 kilometers of underground tunnel, connecting Punta Paloma in Tarifa to Punta Malabata in the Bay of Tangiers. The maximum depth of the tunnel tube would be at around 475 meters, with a maximum gradient of 3%. The design envisages 2 tubes for rail lines with an emergency or service tunnel in between. Like with the Channel Tunnel, for example, the trains here would carry passengers as well as cars. Each single-track tunnel would have an inner diameter of 7.9 meters, while a service gallery would measure 6 meters in diameter. These tunnels would be interconnected by cross passages at intervals of 340 meters. However, the project faces numerous challenges. The sea at this point is around 300 meters deep, 6 times deeper than the Channel Tunnel and 2 times deeper than the Seikan Tunnel. Additionally, the Strait of Gibraltar is a seismic hotspot due to the convergence of the Eurasian and African plates, along with the Alboran subplate. The presence of 2 deep quaternary clay channels and the major Azores-Gibraltar transform fault, known for causing earthquakes in the region, add one more risk to the project. So the technical challenges of this project are striking, surpassing those of any existing tunnel. These difficulties will likely have a significant impact on the cost, which still remains unclear. While the technical constraints are not out of reach, the economic feasibility of the project is a major concern. Let's make some calculations. Let's assume that the construction of the Strait of Gibraltar Tunnel is expected to be comparable in scale and complexity to the Channel Tunnel, whose costs, when adjusted to 2021 values, exceed 25 billion euros. So this project is unlikely to be any less expensive. The uncertainties and technical limitations inherent to the Gibraltar Tunnel can only raise this cost. To put this into perspective, if the costs are comparable, amortizing them over 30 years at a 5% interest rate would require the tunnel to generate an operating profit of over 130 million euros per month just to break even. Therefore, the question arises, is it all worth it? According to Spanish Society for Fixed Communication across the Strait of Gibraltar, the tunnel, in the medium term, would enable the annual passage of more than 13 million tons of goods and 12.8 million passengers. But these are just numbers on the paper. It will be very hard for the new tunnel to capture this amount of demand, taking into account that there are currently 2 significant ports located just 40 kilometers apart on either side of the strait. For example, the Moroccan government has invested heavily in Tangier Med, expanding its cargo capacity to 8 million containers. With around 100,000 ships transiting through the Gibraltar Strait each year, the area is already heavily congested, slowing the transit of goods between the two continents. Also, current ferry services across the strait are robust, with at least 20 crossings daily, in addition to services to Spanish enclaves and longer-distance ferries to Montreal, indicating substantial existing cross-strait passenger traffic. Furthermore, the potential tunnel traffic would largely depend on Morocco-Europe traffic, given the lack of rail network integration in Africa and strained relations among North African countries. If the tunnel were to be opened tomorrow, it would not immediately connect Europe to the entire Maghreb region, which includes Algeria, Libya, Mauritania, Morocco, and Tunisia. This leads to several critical questions. How many people and goods that currently cross the straits would shift to the tunnel? How many people that uses the plains between Europe and Morocco or Maghreb region countries would shift to rail and use it, for example, from Paris to Rabat? Would the construction of the tunnel contribute to the reconciliation in the Maghreb region, considering the potential economic benefits from exporting goods to the European market? Or could the tunnel's construction maybe lead to an increase in immigration from Africa to Europe? Moreover, how would Morocco's national budget withstand the financial burden of constructing and operating the tunnel? These unanswered questions highlight the complexity and uncertainty surrounding this project, with the most crucial issue being whether this tunnel will ever be realized.